Tim, welcome to our channel and thank you for logging on. Today we are discussing the Grand Seiko Spring Drive Automatic SBGA373 from the Heritage Collection. This is a watch that pays homage to the seminal 1967 44 GS in style and in substance. A timepiece in stainless steel in 40mm. It's best to get a sense of a watch where it's in its natural environment, on the wrist. On my 16cm circumference wrist, you can see that the watch has an impressive degree of reference to the geometrically faceted and sharply defined 1967 44 GS, but the watch is of modern dimensions, even as its proportions and details are very much of Grand Seiko heritage. So 40mm across the broad of the case from 9 to 3, not including the crown. It's a slim watch at 12.9mm thick. You can see the sloped and stepped case flank allows this one to slide underneath even a dress shirt. The timepiece does have a compact dimension across the wrist of 46.2mm, and even with the solid end links of the bracelet included, it's still a very manageable 49.7mm. The spacing between the lugs, 19mm. You can see there is an aperture for your strap tool if you want to swap up, but the bracelet needs to be favored, as it was designed with the watch by the same people who made the watch. A gorgeous combination of satin and polish, large, intermediate, and small links, and of course polished flanks with all removable links sized with screws. You can see there is a half link for precise sizing on one side, and move over to the other side, there is additional half link sizing options. You can see that the clasp is a solid piece, trigger deployant and twin trigger too. Both triggers must be pressed to open this clasp, not friction fit, and there's no clamshell cop-out. Grand Seiko took no cheap route out of fabricating the clasp or its mechanism. You'll even note that the underside of the clasp is curved to match the arc of your wrist. Attention to detail runs strong with this one, and nowhere is that more obvious than the ends of the lugs, with a sensational series of almost insect eye faceting. It has a combination of curves and sharp creases, geometries and rounded sinuous forms, and you'll even note that there's a combination of satin finish and polish, and the polish deserves special mention, as this is the black polish or Zaratsu optically flawless finish executed by Grand Seiko artisans manually with experience, hand pressure, and nothing more than hand-eye coordination against a rotating tin plate. It creates an outstanding, smooth surface finish, much like the black polish of small movement components often seen in Swiss calibers, albeit on the exterior of a watch on a much, much larger scale than any screw or regulator in a Swiss timepiece. So you have a handmade watch externally. You have a handmade watch internally as well, as this elegant champagne dial is the product of a complex multi-step fabrication process, and the dial furniture, you can see all of the hands, the aperture of the date, the power reserve indicator, and double indices, as well as all hour markers, are hand finished using diamond tipped tools and then placed by hands. You'll note the gentle faceting at the edge of the razor sharp Dauphine style hour and minute hands at center, and a blued steel lancet style counterweighted seconds hand. You can really get a sense of the sunburst radial texture and grain of this dial as I move it through the light of my light box. It's dynamic in soft light, it explodes in sunlight. Now turn it all over and you realize that the preternaturally smooth sweep of that seconds hand is a distinctive mechanical engineering trait of Grand Seiko, as this is a spring drive caliber. We are looking at 9R65 in-house 30 joules, watchmaker assembled, watchmaker regulated, a worldwide exclusive when first debuted in 1999 as a manual wind and 2005 as an automatic. It remains a signature of the Seiko and Grand Seiko watchmaking empire. You can see that it features a 3-day power reserve, automatic winding. It's water resistant to 100 meters inside this case, a glorious coat across the winding mass as well as the bridges, and you can see the unidirectional regulating wheel. There is no motor in this watch, there are no batteries, there is no capacitor. All of the motion is imparted by a spring mechanically. The only electricity is induced, created by the motion of this governing wheel through a magnetic field. That wakes up a quartz oscillator, creating effectively quartz regulation of a mechanical watch. So you get the soul of a watchmaker assembled spring-powered mechanical movement, but the precision of quartz. You also get the power reserve indicator, stop seconds, and a quick set date. All the functions of a fine mechanical movement with precision of plus or minus 15 seconds per month. Remember, a Swiss COSC chronometer can deviate by -4 plus 6 seconds per 24 hours. This is plus or minus 15 per month, and you get a view of the proceedings, the smooth unidirectional turn of the governing wheel on the back, and the smooth sweep of that blued seconds hand on the front. A timepiece that puts it all together: heritage, contemporary engineering, a versatile size and style, and gorgeous handcrafted elements. You can see it in the entire Grand Seiko collection on our website, govbergwatches.com.